Yo, what is up guys? Hydrox here with my first tournament guide video. In this video, I'm going to be going over everything you guys need to know about FNCS, as well as giving you guys some tips and tricks that'll help you easily qualify for this season's FNCS. Let's get right into it. First, I'm going to be doing this video in sections, and what I mean by that is there will be multiple different parts to this video, such as some more beginner tips, as well as a few more advanced tips, and I'll also be going over the point format after some recent changes have been made. A quick disclaimer, in order to play this season's FNCS, you'll need to be Platinum rank or higher in the rank to build mode, as well as having 2FA enabled. Let's get right into the video. So first up, we have to talk about the new format. As of yesterday, changes have been made to the FNCS point format, allowing players to now gain even more points. Currently, eliminations are with 2 points each, and winning a game will give you 65 points. Additionally, claiming Loot Island will now give you 15 points, and unlocking a Mythic Vault will give you 3. Prior to this change, they would both give you 0 points, meaning the only way to earn points was by getting eliminations or getting placement points. Now, however, with these two new methods, you will need to be watching out for the locations where Loot Island and the vaults will spawn. Now that we know the point format, we need to know how many teams qualify, which this FNCS is going to be the top 200 teams. Since only 200 teams qualify to the second round, your team will need to be incredibly consistent with multiple high point games and hopefully a few wins in there. Depending on your skill level, W keying could be a viable option on how to get quick points. If your duo is a strong fighting team, W keying could definitely be worth the risk, bringing in an extra 4 points per team you kill, as well as getting you closer to receiving those placement points. On the other side of things, if you and your duo are not the best fighting team, playing for placement could be a viable strategy. Both of these playstyles have their own pros and cons, both associated with separate risks, but something you will need to watch out for no matter your team's playstyle is Loot Island. Since Loot Island now grants you 15 points, many teams, especially in low elo lobbies, will be going for Loot Island. If you are in need of the extra points or confident in your ability to win the fight, going for Loot Island can be a great investment since it gives so many points. However, keep in mind, many teams will likely be joining the fight all for those extra 15 points. Now the second thing I'm going to be going over is what you'll need in order to qualify. In order to qualify for the second round of FNCS, your duo will need to be strong in the end game. This is because the very end of the game is where most of the points are given out, and with 10 games and only 3 hours, playing a game out for 20 minutes and receiving few or no points will just not be enough to qualify you for round 2. As well as strong end games, your team must be fairly strong fighters. Even if you're playing passive, you will need to be picking up kills throughout your games, simply for the points, as well as the loot upgrades and the extra materials. Finally, your duo will need to have established individual roles such as the IGL or in-game leader and the fragger, or the person who tends to be the better fighter and who will be picking up most of the kills in the end games. In order to find your role, you and your duo will need to have an honest discussion on what each player is better at. There are many more steps on how to correctly choose your role, but that's for another video. Next up, we have some extra preparations you can take to give your team the advantage. Some of these things you can do are creating or buying a drop map for your landing location, which you can do in certain discords or on Twitter, or you can make your own drop map using Fortnite.gg. No matter how you get your drop map, it is extremely important that you know how to properly use it. Another incredibly important preparation for FNCS is simply playing scrims with your duo. Playing scrims will simulate a stacked endgame better than any other mode, and this practice will be very useful in endgames during FNCS. You can find scrims on Discord for your region. This part of the video will be all about my plans and predictions for this FNCS. My plan this FNCS is to simply win our off-spawn fights, then play fairly passive until our nearby vault spawns or our loot cache appears. In my opinion, fighting for our loot cache is worth it, considering my duo is a fairly good fighting team and the slurp juices, even after the nerf, are still incredibly overpowered and necessary in the endgames. Plus, the good weapons make fighting for our cache well worth it. This decision will need to be talked about within your duo. After getting our cache, we plan to play mostly deadside for a win and stay away from Loot Island unless it spawns directly above us, in which case we will be contesting it for the extra slurp juices and the points. It is not possible to guess how many points will be needed to qualify. However, based on last FNCS, you needed roughly 300, and with more ways to get points this season, some more points may be needed. A few extra things I wanted to mention are during FNCS, you will need to keep in mind that Storm Surge will happen during most games. This means you may need to make an additional loot path in order to get damage for Storm Surge. One way of getting ahead on Storm Surge is by simply carrying an MK instead of a flapjack rifle or SMG. This is because the MK has a red dot sight, making it very accurate at long ranges, similar to the Red Eye last season. This weapon is extremely necessary for Storm Surge. That, guys, will wrap up today's video. If you enjoyed the video or learned anything new, please drop a like. And if you are interested in other videos just like this, make sure to subscribe so you get notified every time I upload a new video. If you guys made it this far, comment FNCS down below, and I'll be hearting your comments. I'm going to let the rest of this scrim play out. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and good luck in FNCS.